Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of D&D Workshop. I got a lot of responses last time for people asking for things that would help new DMs or DMs in general, so I decided that the next episode should focus on tips for new DMs. So we're just going to call this a top 10 tips for new DMs. So these are my tips, not in any particular order. I just thought of 10 general tips that would work very well for new DMs to remember. Obviously, new DMs can use these. Old DMs, experienced DMs would be good to remember some of these because I know how easy it is to tunnel vision and forget what the important parts are for DMing. So it's good to keep these in mind. But without any further ado, we'll get forward. Please remember, though, that these are tips for new DMs mostly. If you're looking for, say, advanced help, I will probably get around to doing that at some point, but just not for this video. So, let's get started. Number 1, don't stress. Take a step back and relax. If your players understand you're a new DM, they will give you some lenience, and if you need assistance, then just ask. There's a lot of resources online, and your players, especially those who are experienced DMs, if there are any in your group, will usually be willing to help. They want to have an enjoyable game just like you. So, in the words of Dawn from Pokemon, no need to worry. Number 2, consult the DM's guide and understand your system. I can't speak for some older editions, but 5th edition in particular has a lot of great resources in its own DM's guide. I know plenty of DMs who never read the entire DM's guide or the player's guide and just went by rules that they'd only encountered as players. Don't neglect the handbooks. Just understand the system. Number 3, learn from watching other DMs. The biggest learning experience I have is either when I fail as a DM through balancing combat or how I handled a situation, or when I watch other DMs work. I can safely say that the biggest influence for my DMing style has been watching Matthew Mercer DM on Critical Role. As a personal recommendation, I would actually recommend, watching some of his stuff. He's put out some videos about tips for DMs, some advanced tips, some beginning tips. If you can find some interviews that he's done, he talks about DMing and things that he does for DMing, and they go more in depth than what I'm going to go into today. So if you have time, go ahead and look around at some of the things that he's talked about. Otherwise, just observe your local DMs. They will learning from that will really help. Number 4, don't overplan. D&D is a very open game, and it's important to plan out some ideas for the next session. But D&D is also very notorious for allowing players to fly off the rails of what you have planned for them. You will always have to improvise at some point during a session. Your players will throw something at you that you were not expecting, and you have to respond to that. So you need to leave some open space for that improvisation to fit in naturally. And, don't railroad. You want the adventure to seem natural. So over planning can facilitate railroading. So don't over plan. Just make it natural. Just write down what you need. Number 5, it's our story. This isn't just your story or the player's story. This is all of your stories. D&D is a game of communal storytelling. It's a game that allows us to come together and actively weave great stories through the guise of a mechanical game. Remember that the story doesn't just belong to you. It belongs to your players. Let them help shape the story. Number 6, don't be afraid to test things out. You'll learn balance over time. It's not a big deal if you want to try a big battle and it turns out it's too difficult or too easy. You'll learn. And if the players are defeated in a really difficult battle, you don't have to kill them. Make them captured by whatever force defeated them, or have some NPC come to the rescue. There are always ways to get players out of a bad situation, so don't be afraid to experiment. Also, you can change the balance of combat halfway through the battle if you need to. If you think an enemy deals too much damage, well, lower the damage they do mid-battle. Maybe cut it in half. Number 7. Play an adventure module. If it's your first time DMing, I'd recommend using an adventures module to start. Building a world is very difficult, and you already have a lot of things to worry about as a DM, let alone a new DM. There are plenty of adventure modules out now that are accessible, better written than some early stuff that came out for 5th edition. Lost Mines of Phandelver, Prince of the Apocalypse, Curse of Strahd. Pick one and go for it. It'll give you an idea of what things you need to prepare for your own homebrew games. Number 8. Do a Session 0. Get your group together for a Session 0 where you can all roll characters and set up. During this time, it's important to set ground rules for the table, what you expect of players, and ask what players expect of you, the game, the story, the setting, and what they want the campaign to feel like. Session Zeros will really help you figure out where everyone's comfort level is and write a successful campaign around those ideas. Number 9. Stick to the core rulebooks. For new DMs, I think it's a good idea to stick as closely to the core rulebooks as you can. Don't let your players or yourself bring in additional classes, races, spells, or items from homebrew modules or additional modules like Unearthed Arcana, Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, etc. Some of the new options may present problems for new DMs to work around. As an example, the Aarakocra in the Elemental Evil supplement gives a first level character a fly speed of 60. As a new DM, try making successful ground-based combat with a bird flying in and out of reach. It won't work. Number 10. Assign someone as sub-DM. The rules are extensive and hard to remember during your first time DMing. Assigning someone who is willing to serve as a sub-DM to help remember rules and assist people with character building and remembering options will really help you get through your early games. I'm currently serving as a sub-DM in 2 different campaigns because I'm one of the 2 other people who have really studied the handbooks. It helps things move more smoothly if someone can call out what a ruling is. Try it out. And bonus tip number 11, have fun. It's a game. Remember to have fun. At the end of the day, it's more important to remember to have fun than, say, like, let a ruling take over a cool situation. Just have fun with it. And if you're not having fun as a DM, let your players know so you can step down. Maybe someone else will take the reins. And those are my 10+1 tips for new DMs. I hope you guys found some of them helpful. I hope that you enjoyed listening to some of my tips that I've developed through experience. If you guys would like some more DMing videos, let me know in the description. If you guys would like to know how to make a certain build of character, let me know. If you guys want me to look at certain homebrews, anything really. I'm kind of just letting ideas hit me with D&D Workshop, so the more suggestions you guys give, the better this series will be, I think. So, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the last episode, which was how to make a dragoon. And I'll see you guys for the next episode of D&D Workshop. So until then, see you later.